Hi friends, my name is Millie and welcome to my March TBR. So this month I'm doing my TBRs a little bit differently. I have spent the day yesterday creating a TBR jar. I've used this old jar that I got from Owl Crate like years ago and I have created a bunch of prompts because I see everyone doing these kinds of videos for their monthly TBRs all over BookTube, all over BookTok, and I just wanted to join in on the fun. So yesterday I got my cousin and my mum and my auntie to help come up with some prompts for me to pick out. I'm going to pick out 7, 8, let's go with 8, that's a nice even number. 8 books from my TBR bookcase. Has to be from this bookcase, otherwise it'd be too hard to make a decision. And we will go with what prompts we get. So there are some evil ones in here and there are some nicer ones. So fingers crossed we get some of the nicer ones to start with. So let's begin. So the first prompt that we have got is apocalyptic vibes. So me and my cousin are obsessed with anything apocalyptic or dystopian. Like, we just love talking about that. Like, we're both obsessed with Hunger Games and The Last of Us and all of that. So in honour of the discussion that we were having yesterday, I'm going to go with Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reid. So we were talking about this yesterday actually, and it's The Last of Us meets the Hunger Games, and that's just going to be the perfect fit. So I've been hearing such good things about this, but it actually does come out in March, so hopefully if I can read this at the start of the month, then I can read it before it actually comes out. But I love Ava Reid, I just adore her writing. Yeah, so I'm very excited to read this. So the Fable for the End of the World. Kyrus controls all aspects of society by encouraging massive accumulations of debt from its underclass. Inessa lives with her brother in a half-sunken town where they scrape by. Their cruel and indolent mother has accrued an enormous debt, enough to qualify one of her children for Kyrus's live-streamed assassination spectacle, The Lamb's Gauntlet. Melanoa is a Kyrus assassin, trained to track and kill the sacrificial lambs. The product of reconditioning and alteration, she is a living weapon, known for her cold brutality and deadly beauty. She has never failed to assassinate. Inessa despairs. The gauntlet is always a bloodbath for the impoverished debtors, but she's had years of practice surviving in the apocalyptic wastes, and with the help of her hunter brother, she might stand a chance of staying alive. For Melanoa, this is a game she can't afford to lose. Despite her reputation for mercilessness, she is haunted by painful flashbacks. As Mel pursues Inessa across the wasteland, both girls begin to question everything. Inessa wonders if there's more to life than survival, while Mel wonders if she's capable of more than killing. And both wonder if, against all odds, they might be falling in love. I'm so excited for this. I just love Ava Reid so much, so I am very, very hyped to read this. I'm very glad that that prompt came out. So starting off very well, let's go with prompt 2. Go with this one, which is book with a map. Ooh, okay. I should have quite a few options for this, but it probably is going to require me looking through the books. I'm more likely to get a map in a hardback. Let's see if this one has a map. Temptation of Magic. Ooh, excellent. First pick. So here we are, we've got the map, and the book is The Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott. So this was a Fairy Loot book from May 2024, so nearly a year, so it's probably good that I'm getting around to reading this. But this is a absolutely gorgeous edition. I love the sprayed edges on that, and it also has a very cool foiling on the hardcover, so love that. The map is really cool actually. It's very different to other maps, I feel like. It's kind of like inverse of what other maps would look like, so I think that's really cool. Yeah, so let's see what this book is about, because I can't remember. As an Imperial, Nicole has the ability to kill any deadly supernatural. But if her power ever awakened, the Wake, the organisation that governs supernaturals, would force her to be their loyal huntress, or kill her like they did her mother. To stay safe, Nicole hides in a small university town, convinced the mythological art collection at her local manor contains a final message from her mother. But before she can study it, Kyan McCarter, the Wake's most skilled Imperial arrives on his own hunt. When Nicole and Kyan discover that Kyan's prey has stolen a painting for leverage, they're forced to work together. As the creature threatens to expose Nicole's powers, her tenuous alliance with Kyan threatens her heart. If her true identity is revealed, Kyan will hunt her next. No one disobeys the Wake and survives, especially when the art they're seeking unveils a conspiracy that would change the lives of creatures and humans forever. But Nicole may only be able to resist one, her wicked impulses or a love that could repaint her world. And after a life of hiding her true nature, who could resist the temptation of magic? I love the sound of that. I feel like this is meant to be very good, so I am very excited to finally be getting to that one and finally to be getting to a book box book as well, because I'm really behind on those, so that's good. So prompt 3 is a book about a famous person. Okay. I think I know exactly what book I want to pick for that. Is it a bit self-indulgent to pick it? So for that prompt, I'm going with The Favourites by Lane Fargo. I've been seeing this everywhere and I'm feeling the FOMO. Like, I really, really want to read this and know what the hype is about. Also just obsessed with the cover. This is just gorgeous. So from what I know of this, it's like Daisy Jones and the Six but meets figure skating, which just sounds incredible. So I feel like it's told in like documentary style as well, but you have, I feel like what I've heard, you've got two different sides of this documentary. So you've got everyone else talking about it, and then one of the people in this couple decides to tell her side of the story or something. And I keep hearing that it just keeps going and going. Like, you think you know what the incident was that caused this figure skating duo to end the partnership, and then something else happens and you're like, oh, that must be it, and then something else happens and you're like, that must be it. So very intrigued. But the synopsis says, everyone thinks Heath Rocher was my first love. He wasn't. My first love was figure skating. Katerina Shaw has always known she's destined to become an Olympic skater. When she meets Heath Rocher, a lonely kid stuck in the foster care system, their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. Clinging to skating and each other to escape their turbulent lives, Kat and Heath go from childhood sweethearts to champion ice dancers, captivating fans with their scorching chemistry, rebellious style, and roller coaster relationship. Until at the Olympic Games, as the world holds its breath, a shocking incident instantly destroys their partnership. 10 years later, an unauthorized tell-all documentary reignites the public obsession with Shaw and Rocher. If Kat wants to own her story, she must break her silence. As Kat's account of her dramatic rise and fall alternates with scandalous interviews from the film, The Favourite spins into a dance between passion, ambition, and what it truly means to win. Sensational rumours have haunted Kat and Heath's every step for years, but the truth may be even more outrageous than the headlines. I'm so excited for that. That's going to be everything to me. I just can tell it's going to be my new obsession. Very ready for that. I'm so glad that I was able to get that onto this TBR. Okay, so prompt 4 is a book set in the past. Okay, that might be a little bit trickier. Okay, so for a book set in the past, I've gone with The Duke and I, which is the first Bridgerton book. I've never read the Bridgerton books, but I am obsessed with the TV show. I'm aware that this is probably going to be my least favourite of the books, based on obviously what happens in it, which if you've watched a TV show, like, you'd know. But this is a Regency romance, and there's like 8 books in the series, there's spin-offs. Obviously the TV show is just incredible, and I just feel like I'm gonna end up loving the series as a whole, but I've just obviously got to get through the first book first, because Daphne and Simon are my least favourite couple from the TV show anyway, so I've got to push through. But I'm excited. This one is like fake dating in Regency London, and I'm here for it, so I feel like this is a good pick, and that'll be one that I can get through pretty quickly as well, I feel. So I feel like that's a good one, because these ones, especially The Favourites, is looking pretty big, so I need something quick. Okay, so prompt 5 is gonna be, oh, it's a long one, a book with 3 people on the cover. Oh, I thought that's going to be hard to find. When my cousin came up with that prompt, she was like, are you going to be able to find that? And I was like, yeah, that'll be fine. Now I'm regretting that. Okay, I've managed to find one, and it is actually another BookBox pick. So actually, thank you so much to my cousin for coming up with this prompt, because I can't think of anything else that would fit this prompt. And the book I've gone with is Law of the Wilds by Annalie Sabrana. This was Fairyloot's first romantasy pick, I believe. Yeah, this was from their very first romantasy box, which was the Enchanted Fae box, and this is a gorgeous edition. So you've got these really pretty sprayed edges, and you've got a gorgeous hardcover as well. And from what I know of this, is a love triangle, I believe, but this will be a really good one to pick because I haven't actually read any of the books from Fairyloot's romantasy subscription yet, which is so bad because obviously in April I'll have been getting them for a year, and to not have read any is really bad considering I'm paying for them. But Law of the Wilds is very bookish, I feel, because it is set in a library. So a library with a deadly enchantment, a Fae Lord who wants in, a human woman willing to risk it all for a taste of power. In a land ruled by ruthless Fae, 21-year-old Law Alamayu's village is trapped in a forested prison. Law knows that any escape attempt is futile. Her scars are a testament to her past failures. But when her village is threatened, Law makes a desperate deal with a Fae Lord. She convinces him that she will risk her life for wealth, but really she's after the one thing the Fae covet above all, magic of her own. As Law navigates the hostile world outside of her village, she's forced to rely on 2 Fae males to survive. When undeniable chemistry ignites, she's not just in danger of losing her life, but also her heart, to the very creatures she can never trust. The perfect cottagecore book about books with a love triangle that will keep you guessing. I also love anything cottagecore, so if this does have cottagecore vibes, I'm very here for it, but as you can see, it does have 3 people on the cover, so this fits perfectly. So I am very excited to have another book box book as part of this TBR. So I've got 3 more prompts to do, so let's do prompt 6, which is a book published in June. This was one of the hard prompts. This might be one where I have to go and look at what arcs I've got because I don't know what's coming out in June or was published last June. Wait, I actually have the perfect thing. I don't even have to go anywhere for this. I am going to go with When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is chunky, but I feel like I'll be able to get through it pretty quickly. This is a fantasy romance, a romantasy. It involves dragons, and as you can see, it was published in June 2024, so this would be perfect. So I feel like I've heard very mixed things. Some people seem to absolutely love this book and some people really don't like it. Hopefully I'll be in the former category because it does have dragons in it. So this will transport you into a world filled with magic, dragons and a love that blazes through the ages. As an assassin for the rebellion, Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter shatters her world, Rave finds herself captured by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful Fae. Crushed by the loss of his great love, dragon rider Khan Vaegor took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Rave. Together, they seek truths that threaten to unravel everything they knew about their world and each other. I am very excited for this and to finally get around to reading this because everyone talks about it, everyone has read it by now. I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't read it, especially considering I got sent such a beautiful proof edition, so it'll be good for me to finally get to this. So luckily I did pick out that prompt. Okay, so prompt 7 is a book with a season in the title. Anything have one of those in the title? I thought that I would actually have more options than I did when I could only find one that has a season in the title, and it is Hurricane Summer by Asher Bromfield. This is a YA contemporary, I believe, and obviously I'd rather read this more in the summer months, but we'll go with it. So Tilla has spent her entire life trying to make her father love her, but every 6 months he leaves their family and returns to his true home, the island of Jamaica. When Tilla's mother tells her she'll be spending the summer on the island, Tilla dreads the idea of seeing him again, but longs to discover what life in Jamaica has always held for him. In an unexpected turn of events, Tilla is forced to face the storm that unravels in her own life as she learns about the dark secrets that lie beyond the veil of paradise, all in the midst of an impending hurricane. A powerful coming-of-age page story that deals with colorism, classism, young love, the father-daughter dynamic, and what it means to discover your own voice in the centre of complete destruction. I am very excited to get to this. I've heard such good things, so yeah, something a bit different to all of the kind of more fantasy-esque picks that we had. But I really thought I would have more books with a season in the title. First I thought I wasn't going to find any and I would have to go for like the Bone season, which I wasn't going to be mad about, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for that this month. That could end up coming up in our last prompt, so let's see. Okay, so we have got a book set in a different country. So does it count as fantasy? That's set in a different world? So it's just anything not set in the UK. Okay, so I'm going to go with Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I read the first two back to back in a 24-hour romance readathon last summer and absolutely loved them. They were so good and I'm very excited to get back into this world. So these are not set in the UK. They're set somewhere in America. Don't ask me where. I don't know where in America it's set, but somewhere that has ranches and horses and cowboys, somewhere there. But it's not set in the UK, so this one fits the prompt perfectly. In the first book of the Rebel Blue Ranch series, you meet Emmy, and then her older brother Gus absolutely hates her best friend, who's called Teddy. And ever since the first book, I've wanted Gus and Teddy to get together because their chemistry is just undeniable, and this is their book. This is Teddy and Gus's book. So Teddy Anderson doesn't have a plan. She's more of a go with the flow type of girl, but for some reason the flow doesn't seem to be going her way this time. Gus Ryder has a lot on his plate. He's always been the dependable one, but when his workload starts to overwhelm him, he has to admit that he can't manage everything on his own. He needs help. His little sister's best friend, the woman he can't stand, is not who he had in mind, but when no one else can step in to look after his little girl, Teddy's the only option he's got. Tempers flare, tension builds, and for the first time ever, Gus and Teddy start to see each other in a different light. As new feelings start to simmer below the surface, can they keep things cool, or will both of them get burned? I am so excited for this. I just love these books. This author does romances so well because although they're fun and light-hearted, they also do have a little bit of something deeper to them. Like the second book in the series, Swift and Saddled, dealt with depression, and I think it did it really, really well. I was really moved by how the author depicted depression in that book, so I'm very excited to see what kind of thing gets tackled in here and just have a good time with these books because they are such a good time, so I'm very excited. And also the fourth and final book in the series comes out in April. That one's called Wild and Wrangled, so it'll be very good to catch up to the series before the final book comes out. Okay, so those are all of the books that I've picked out from my TBR jar for the month of March. I'm very excited for all of these. I feel a little bit intimidated by the size of this stack, especially because of the size of the favourites and When the Moon Hatched, but I'm going to be getting to some books that I've been really wanting to get to for a long time, and also to some new releases like the favourites that I'm really excited for. So I feel like this has been a very successful first TBR with the TBR jar, so I feel like I can keep this going. This is good. So hopefully I will actually get to read these books this month. We'll see. Who knows if I actually will, but hopefully I will. I'm not very good at sticking to TBRs, but hopefully this will motivate me to do that. So let me know what books are on your March TBR. Have you read any of these ones and what did you think of them? Like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna. And if you wanted to follow me on my Goodreads or my Bookstagram, the links will be down in the description below. And I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!